I have a bit of an obsession with Hollow Knight Silksong. Yep. No!
Are you an enemy?
Yep. I don't like this game anymore. No! I never said I was good at the game, okay? I just said I had an obsession with it. So much so that I decided to turn it into a Lego animation. Silksong has a plethora of different areas which I could recreate in Lego. At first I thought about creating the bone marrow. Wait, no, I forgot I was too lazy for that. What if I animated the entire Moss Mother battle instead? No, I want to get this video done sometime this year. If you really want to make me suffer, 5,000 likes and I'll animate it. After going back and forth, I eventually decided to recreate the entire game. Moss Grotto. It's colorful, it's lush, and all the enemies there really shouldn't be too difficult to build. I should probably explain how I'm gonna actually do this, shouldn't I? Can someone fix this projector? Thank you. As I was saying, so the entire game is a side scroller, meaning every camera angle would need to be top down. And I would have to build Hornet and the other enemies in an 8-bit style. Place them on top of some green paper and cut them out in post-production. So you now have the gist of how this is gonna work. Let's go ahead and get started on building a Lego Hornet. Also, turn on safe search before you look up a picture of Hornet. I didn't think bugs could be drawn in such horrific ways. You people need to take a soap bar or something. I don't know. All right, back to building Hornet. It took me a couple of different tries to get the proportions right, but once I did, it looked almost perfect. And just so you don't get confused, the black lines in the dress are supposed to be fabric folds, not arms. All right? Cool. Now we just build the enemies and call it a day, right? No. Oh no. This is an animation, and the only way to animate 2D characters like Hornet is by building multiple Hornets and swapping them out each frame. Thankfully, the idle animation of Hornet's face doesn't change at all. It bobs up and down a little bit, but that's all. The dress, however, moves slightly. So I built up 3 other frames and moved the fabric folds little by little. With the frames built, I went ahead and took all the pictures, swapping out each torso piece per frame. With the pictures taken, I took the animation into my editing software and realized that Hornet moved quite a bit, so I had to meticulously reposition each frame. Also, the legs moved no matter how hard I tried to stabilize them. So I just used one of the frames and decided, from here forth I shall comp the legs in separately. With the idle animation done, I decided to go ahead and start on the walk animation. But before I jumped into animating it, I actually went ahead and analyzed the game animation frame by frame to get an idea of how it should look. I came to the conclusion that it should not look bad. Why did I think that line would be funny? Anyways, I went ahead and dismantled the previous animation frames because I don't actually have enough Lego to build more than 4 frames at a time, and built 4 new ones, with the fabric folds running across the dress. For this animation, I was actually gonna need 4 more animation frames, so I'm gonna have to stop in the middle of animating and build new ones, which is gonna make things a little bit more complicated. And of course, I don't have footage of that. So, we do a little off-camera building, if you know what I'm saying. With the torso animated, I went on to animating the legs. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I still have another animator to figure out how to do the legs. Thank you, geez God. With those 2 animations done, I went ahead and combined them to see how the whole animation was looking so far. Not gonna lie, it looks pretty good. This is motivating me to keep take a 2-week hiatus because I was procrastinating animating the next shot. But hey, I beat the Forge brothers in Silksong during that time on definitely my first try, and there isn't almost an hour of footage of me dying. I've really gotta stop self-sabotaging. Right. So the next animation I need to create is the jump, which single-handedly is the longest Hornet animation I will be making in this entire video. Not only will I have to stop and rebuild the torso multiple times, I'll also have to rebuild the Hornet's head too. This really is not gonna be fun. Right. So upon analyzing the footage, it looks like there's a total of 20 different animation frames. Just kill me now. Thankfully, the start of the jump wasn't too difficult. All I had to do was build 3 different animation frames for the fabric folds to move across. Hornet's animation eases out when she reaches the peak of her jump. Her head also slightly shifts position, so I took another 30 minutes to build up 3 more frames, capture those frames, and begin working on Hornet falling down. Hornet's head shifts a few more times as she begins her descent. The dress also gets a bit more poofier in some places. This is starting to get really repetitive, I know. We're almost done, I promise. With another hour or so of building and analyzing, I had finished the torso animation. I'm not even gonna bother going through the process of animating the legs. It's literally the exact same process as animating the torso, but with less pieces. After editing, this is how the first test looks. Not bad. I'm definitely gonna have to refine it in the final animation, but that's good enough for now. Oh yeah, in case you're curious, the entire jump took me 4.5 hours to animate. I swear I'm not insane. Last but not least, we have the attack animations. These each consist of no more than 3 frames, meaning it should be the easiest to animate. My only drawback from the attack animation is the spear smear frame. Should I create it in Lego or should I just draw one in? I drew one in. Call me a cheater if you must, but I've been working on this for 20 hours, okay? Cut me a little bit of slack. The Hornet animations are almost done, but she's missing something. That's much better. With Hornet done, it's time to move on to the enemies. Moss Grotto has 3 enemies. The Moss Grub, Moss Mirror, and Flying Moss Bug number 2. I don't actually remember what this guy is called. And I know I could literally just go and check the Hunter's Journal, but like I said before, I'm too lazy for that. After some consideration, I just decided to create the Moss Grub and Moss Mirror. However, when I began to construct the Moss Grub, I came across an issue. I have like 0 green Lego pieces. Let's play a little game. I can either A, waste more money than I already have on this video to buy green Lego pieces, or B, cheat. If you chose A, then you are wrong. I am of course going to cheat if given the option. Now the way I'm actually going to cheat is by building the Moss Grub out of blue Lego pieces and changing the color in post-production.
Oh, cool. Is it a fishy?
No, it's not a fish! Because I have a shortage of blue Lego pieces as well, I'm also gonna cheese the actual animation by warping the inching animation of the grub. Oh yeah, I also drew the legs in. Here's how the little grub animation looks by himself. Pretty happy with how that looks. Next up we have Moss Mirror, and the only thing I'm gonna cheat is the color of the bug. The first thing I did was build up the face of the bug, as the body would need to visibly appear behind the head. After I took the pictures for the head, I built the animation frames for the body and captured those shots, like I have been, for literally every animation. The only part of the animation left to create was the wings. Now I could cheat, but I'm just gonna create this in Lego, cut them out in post-production, add some directional blur, and slightly change the opacity to make it look like the game. Here's the Moss Mirror bug. I'm pretty happy with how that looks. And last but not least, I need to create a bunch of foliage to put in the background and foreground. At first I tried taking pictures of it in camera, but when I went to mask out the pieces, it didn't end up looking very good at all. So I just decided to create the footage through Blender. So I went on to Mecha Bricks, made some custom moss and stone pieces, grabbed a bunch of leaf pieces, threw them all into Blender, added a bit of lighting, and then rendered all the foliage as transparent images. Alright, post-production done. Time to string everything together so it looks like an actual animation. I should probably also explain what I'm gonna do about the background. I have this really cool plugin in DaVinci Resolve that lets me turn basically anything into Lego. Like, all I do is drag and drop it onto an image and poof, it's Lego. And no, this isn't cheating. It's technically still Lego. Now, I won't lie, going into the animation, I didn't really have a concrete plan as to what scene should be in it. I kind of just thought there should be like an introduction to the world first, with no mobs, and then scene 2 would have a bunch of mobs Hornet would kill, and then the last scene would be of the Moss Mirror swarm flying by Hornet. Without wasting any more time, I started creating the first scene, where Hornet would slice some vines. One thing I did need to pay attention to was the moss. In the game, the moss gets pushed down when Hornet steps onto it, so I did the same thing in my animation. When Hornet slices the vine, I added a little hand-drawn explosion animation. For the next scene, I decided to have Hornet kill 2 moss grubs as well as a moss mirror bug. Now, I won't actually waste too much time going over the process. You've already heard me talk about processes for long enough. I did have a lot of difficulty getting the grubs to animate properly. For whatever reason, whenever I rendered it, the grub animation would just completely disappear, so they were kind of like teleporting towards Hornet for whatever reason. Thankfully, I had like 0 issue animating the moss mirror. Right, with this scene done, I had successfully used all my animations, so none of them went to waste. Last but not least, we have the swarm scene, which means I need to add in like 30 moss mirrors. My computer is going to absolutely hate me. This time I had the issue where the swarm kept teleporting backwards. I did eventually fix that though. Alright, the animation is finally finished, and I can finally present to you LEGO Hollow Knight Silksong. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, please do consider liking and subscribing. This video took way too long and I'm so burnt out. That's why I'm not animating me talking right now, and I just have a bunch of stats on the screen. I'm currently working on another video with a bunch of other larger content creators. Hopefully that'll be out in January, but no promises. At first I thought about creating the bone marrow. Wait, no. It's just the marrow. But I'm just gonna keep it as bone marrow just to see how many upset comments I get.